Today I wanted to explain why I don't buy booster boxes from every single set that gets released. You'll see that out of all the booster boxes I have from the Sword and Shield era, I'm missing a good amount of them, specifically like the first 5 sets. I don't have Sword and Shield Base, Rebel Clash, Darkness Ablaze, Vivid Voltage, or Battle Styles. I know Battle Styles is kind of the controversial one, but regardless, the reason why I skipped out buying those booster boxes from those sets is because generally they're not seen to be good sets, and I personally don't think they're good sets at all. But I do know that some people out there have a strategy of buying a case of booster boxes or whatever from each set, regardless of how good or bad it is. And you know what? That's not a bad strategy. It reduces your risk. You spread a little bit of what you have from each set. I think it's honestly not a bad strategy. But I'm showing you guys why I don't do it because I see some people out there, specifically YouTubers, I feel like pushing a misleading narrative that these bad sets, like it's a good chance or whatever that they're going to perform in the future, because you technically can't predict how sets are going to perform in the future. I agree with that, but I feel like a lot of YouTubers out there really push and mislead people to thinking that a lot of these bad sets, they have a good chance of performing well in the future because now they're underrated because no one likes them. I really think that's misleading, and I'm going to show you guys the data here right now. So I'm going to take you guys through 3 different eras: X, Y, Sun and Moon, and Sword and Shield, to show you guys the generally considered bad sets, that to show you that they don't really perform as well as the sets that are considered to be good. And this is just me showing you the data. I'm not telling you to avoid buying these sets, but I'm showing you that the sets that are seen to be bad most of the time don't perform as well as the other sets that are seen to be good. Now, of course, there is outliers. There is Sword and Shield base is like a $300 booster box. Sun and Moon base is around $300. There's some outliers out there, but generally like 90% of the time, like around, like obviously that's an arbitrary number, but most of the time they don't perform as well. And I don't like when people try to mislead people saying that these sets are worth buying because they're undervalued now and they're going to perform. Don't really think that's 100% the case, but if your strategy is to buy booster boxes from every single set, go ahead. But I'm going to show you guys why I don't. So starting here with XY Breakthrough. Now, XY Breakthrough, I know a lot of people don't like Breakthrough and Breakpoint. I think Breakthrough isn't as bad as Breakpoint, specifically because it has a lot of Mewtwo cards. But you can see here, there's no real expensive card, but I mean, in XY, there's a lot of sets that are really expensive, or the booster boxes are, and there's no expensive cards. But this set, at the time, was not seen to be very good. A lot of people didn't like the set. You look at the booster box, it's actually not, super cheap or anything. It's $600 something. So obviously you can see here, this is also somewhat of an anomaly, but still not many people are going to be looking for this booster box, but it performed $600, so that's pretty good. Next is Breakpoint. I feel like this is the worst one out of the two, and just in my opinion. This set does have, some cards in it that I guess are like wanted, like the Skyla, the Gyarados, but I don't think this is as good as Breakthrough. You can see the booster box, though, is actually more expensive. So, I mean, I guess people like this booster box more or whatever, but it is a little bit more expensive than the Breakthrough one. But you can see that some sets do perform, like the bad ones. Steam Siege. This one is definitely, shows that, a bad set didn't perform well. Because if you look at how much the booster box is going for, it's around $400. However, if you look at these sets, right, that I showed you that are considered to be bad, yes, there's like other sets that got reprinted a ton, like Roaring Skies, Primal Clash, Face Collide. Those are around like $600 too. However, look at the sets that were considered to be good. Phantom Forces, Flashfire. Those sets, they're in the thousands. Or those booster boxes are in the thousands. So, still, you can see that they perform not as good as the other sets. Now going to Sun and Moon. Crimson Invasion. This is one of them. People like to give examples that, bad sets will perform. Yes, they will, but not as good as the other sets. This set, you can see here, there's really nothing in here that people are going to really want. And look at the booster box price. Yes, you can get them for, around $250, $300. But look how many other sets in the Sun and Moon era that were considered good. Unified Minds, Unbroken Bonds, Team Up, Cosmic Eclipse. They're what, $800 to $1,000, $2,000? Still, you can see the bad sets, they do go up in value, but not as much. Guardians Rising, another set that is kind of no one talks about. Look at the booster box price. Yes, it's like $400, $500. But like I said, look at all the other sets that were considered good. They outperformed this set. Next, Forbidden Light, another set no one talks about from the Sun and Moon era. You can see here, not really any cards that I think people are going to really want. They're just mainly rainbow cards. Look at the booster box price. what, $400, $500. Same thing. There's plenty of other sets that were good that outperformed, the bad sets. Next, Rebel Clash. This is one that people like to give an example of bad sets doing well. Yes, this set, did go up to like $200 something, but still, I think just over time, a lot of the older, or a lot of the, I guess, later Sword and Shield sets are going to outperform Rebel Clash. I think it's just bound to happen. Like, if you look at the graph, this booster box has done nothing. So I think it's just over time where a lot of the sets like Lost Origin, Silver Tempest, especially Silver Tempest, once it goes out of stock on the Pokemon Center website, I think it will start to go up even more. But you can see that this, this booster box, yes, it did go up to around $200, but no one really wants this set. Next, Darkness Ablaze. It only has the Charizard VMAX and it's like a $20 card, and then the rest are just rainbows. The booster box here, you can see, is only around $150. But Sword and Shield isn't the best example, honestly, of what I'm trying to say, because a lot of the booster boxes, like I said, like Lost Origin, Silver Tempest, they got reprinted and stuff, so it is going to take a little bit more time. But I still think that there is going to be the same trend where they're going to outperform these bad sets. But as of right now, I guess you could argue that Silver Tempest and Darkness Ablaze are the same price, so I don't know. But next, Vivid Voltage. This is kind of, it has the Tonkachu, but that's kind of it. So if is it a bad set, it's up to you, but it really only has this Tonkachu. You can see here, the booster box is going for around, what, $130, $140. Then Battle Styles, you can see this is kind of the controversial one. It does have a few nice cards in it. I honestly think, in my opinion, that the Tyranitar is... I don't really care about the Rapid Strike like Urshifu or the Single Strike Urshifu. I don't really think these are that popular Pokemon, in my opinion, but I think the Tyranitar is really the card that people are going to be looking for in the set. And you can see the booster box, it's only like $120, $130. So overall, you can see here, just by looking at all this stuff, Sword and Shield is kind of iffy because, the Sword and Shield isn't old enough yet to really see that. But you can just tell from Sun and Moon and XY that generally bad sets don't perform as well as the good ones. So people out there that are pushing the narrative that bad sets, you should still buy them because you never know what's going to happen, right? I feel like that's kind of misleading. So that's why I don't buy booster boxes from every single set. I usually buy booster boxes from sets that are typically seen to be good because, I don't feel like in the long run that's not really going to change. Like, people now that are looking at, Lost Origin, Evolving Skies, Fusion Strike, Chilling Reign, I don't think in the future that people are going to be like, oh yeah, this booster box back then or this set was so good, now it's bad. Like, I don't think that really is going to change. I feel like, if anything, the sentiment now is going to continue in the future because, let's say, 5 years from now, people aren't going to be looking back at Rebel Clash or Darkness Ablaze and be like, wow, this set is so good. Like, that's not really going to happen. Yes, you can't predict the future, but generally you'll see here that it's not really a thing. So that's just my reasoning why I don't buy a booster box from every single set. But let me know down in the comments if you guys have the strategy. So I know some people out there just collect, like they want to have a booster box from each set, but just investing wise, I feel like it isn't that smart to buy booster boxes that from sets that are bad, or like Sword and Shield based Rebel Clash. Maybe Battle Styles is honestly not a bad play. Like, I would feel like that one is kind of like the one where I would say is kind of like, okay, like I would understand why someone wants to buy this because it's the first set with alternate arts. It has the Tyranitar, and right now it's only what, $120, $130. So maybe it is a good pickup. Like, I would say that was okay. But if you're going to sit here and say that Rebel Clash, Sword and Shield base, or Darkness Ablaze is going to outperform like Chilling Reign, Evolving Skies, Silver Tempest, Lost Origin, I think that's really honestly misleading, and I feel like that's not really going to be true. But then again, who knows what's going to happen. So that's the end of this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys on the next one.